The anti-government protesters in Kenya are reevaluating their approach following violent and looting demonstrations that were witnessed on Tuesday, which they fear would undermine the movement and also its efforts to pressurize President Ruto into resigning. And our next report gets you more details.
An uneasy calm hung over the Kenyan capital on Thursday. Armed police officers patrolling the streets of Nairobi as residents and businesses braced for potential fresh unrest. Demonstrations on Tuesday were marred by violence and looting. Now, activists behind the country's anti-government protests are rethinking their strategy. They fear the clashes could undermine their movement and its efforts to push President William Ruto to resign. Foy Wambui, a young actress who had come to the protest in downtown Nairobi on Tuesday, said she was heading home because of the chaos.
Over time, what has happened is so that the peaceful protesters are deterred from coming to town, and we are deterred from actually coming and practicing our civic duty.
Some activists say the violence was the work of goons hired by politicians to either discredit legitimate demonstrators or advance their own agendas.
We have seen now there's an increase of goons who are now being paid to come and just disrupt whatever we are trying to do. And it's very unfortunate, to be honest, because whatever we are doing right now, it's not just for the young people, it's not about the millennials or Gen Zs, it's for everyone.
Some called on social media for demonstrators to take a step back and said the next planned demonstration on Thursday should not go ahead. Njoki Wamae is a Nairobi-based political scientist.
It's no longer the movement that started, it's morphed to something else. But I think many young people are still on this. There are still many genuine Gen Zs, millennials on the street protesting. So I think this was maybe a strategy to end the protests, because once criminals are created, created, because clearly, once the criminals are created, the next thing is police will use even more high-handed techniques to get rid of them. Probably even shoot protesters who are innocent as they fight the criminals, and then from there it's branded these are criminal elements, and so the protests end.
Kenya's government spokesperson did not respond to a request for comment. In official statements, the government has generally distinguished between peaceful protesters and those they brand as criminals that have hijacked the demonstrations. But their allies have seized on the violence to try and discredit the movement. The initial protests last month against proposed tax hikes were overwhelmingly peaceful, although the police fired tear gas and water cannon. The protests became violent as some people briefly stormed Parliament last week and the police opened fire, killing dozens. The next day, Ruto withdrew the tax increases. But protesters vowed to carry on, issuing a range of demands from anti-corruption measures to Ruto's resignation.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.